This is a test video that we're trying out in reference to these stories for the family. And we're here at the farm, as you can see. And we've been up with Mom and Dad picking some grapes, and it's rained most of the morning, so we've gotten a little bit wet, but we're done with that. Ready to do this video. My video is the story of the Big Rock Candy Mountain experience that our family had, I believe, when I was about 14. So 1974 or something like that, right around there. For some reason, my mom and dad wanted to vacation with Barbara and Jay Kunstler. We seemed to do that often. Whether it was in Torrance, California, or when they lived in Orem, Utah, we did things as a family with them. And so we were going on a trip. I don't even know where it was exactly. I couldn't tell you where the Big Rock Candy Mountain is. But we Mom and Dad had a motor home and had part of the family, the Packard family, and part of the Kunstler family. And Jay and Barbara had their truck that was pulling a fifth wheel, a little trailer, if I recall correctly. And in the back of their truck, they also had a camper shell. And we were riding in the back. There were some of us that were riding in the back of that camper shell in the bed of the truck. They had made it nice with carpet and such, so it was nice to be able to be in there.
Who was in there with you?
There was myself and Todd and someone else, and I'm not sure who else. If it was one of the Kunslers, maybe it was Gary or John. I'm not sure who it was. But there was Todd and I for sure. And as we were riding along in the back of that vehicle, we had the flap or the back window of the camper open a little bit to get some air, some fresh air into the camper. And so we're driving along, and I don't know if it was an hour or two or whatever, but we made a stop at the Big Rock Candy Mountain. And as we stopped and got out, I know I felt very, very tired, and I was a little bit, I just was really tired, and it apparently Todd was as well, and as was the custom in our family, whenever we went to a place, we needed to take a picture, and Mom especially was one of those that wanted to make sure that you don't just take a picture of a place, but you have to have someone in the picture. So as usual, they wanted us all to take a family picture, and so we went up to. I was not very happy for some reason, and I didn't want to take a picture, and I remember saying to Mom and Dad, I just want to sit down and rest, and so I went to sit down at the steps of the motorhome, and that's the last thing that I remember, is that
you passed out.
I passed out, and apparently Todd, I think, passed out as well. Anyway, so that's my side of the Big Rock Candy Mountain story. So with Mom and Dad here, is there any other things about that story that we ought to...
Well, with Jay Kunstler there, he diagnosed the problem, what caused the problem.
Yes.
The exhaust from his pickup was hitting and coming
into the camper.
It was into the camper
shell. So it was a carbon monoxide poisoning type of deal is what was happening. And the exposure to the air, whatever, breathing in deeper, got all that into our system, and we passed out. And the next thing I remember is we were in the camper, or in the motorhome, on the table beds, the table that folded out to make a bed. That's all I remember. So.
Well, also Jay told us that he had just had his truck worked on, and when he backed up his truck, he backed up into something kind of like a hill, and it bent the exhaust.
Exhaust pipe.
the exhaust pipe. And so when he put the camper on there, that was coming right up
The
through
camper
there.
shell.
Yeah.
Camper shell, and we didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I remember, now this is interesting too, that Barbara just called me before we had the reunion, probably a month before, about this very thing. She was recording it, and she was wanting to know, now, who was there? Which one of these boys were in there? But, and I couldn't remember either. It had to be, probably Gary.
Gary.
Yes. Or
The older
Johnny.
kids that could
Yes.
go in the camper.
Right, right. But I do remember when you guys stepped down out of the camper, I noticed Todd first, and I thought, what's wrong with Todd? Because he was kind of like this, just kind of weak and weaving kind of. I thought, what's the matter, Todd? And then you came down. You were the same way. We thought, what's wrong? What's going on?
Yeah.
And so that's when we, realized something's wrong with this. And it's interesting that Jay, when he was driving, and Barbara, they were seeing this window up here,
Flapping.
kind of flapping, and yet they were so glad that, hey, that's open. And that probably
Get some
saved
air in
it.
there.
Yeah, it probably saved their life.
Yeah.
That was a dangerous thing.
Okay, that's it.